Your self worth is always going to be the ceiling in which you can accomplish anything. If you are trying to achieve anything, do anything, the limitations of what it is that you can actually do will always be capped at where you believe your self worth is. I was having this thought today because there's a lot of things that in this new year I decided to change about myself. I decided to cut out anybody who was toxic in my life, anybody who drained the energy in my life. I cut them out. I have been super duper serious about my diet, so much so that I've never been this strict about the things that I put in my body. I'm not really drinking and smoking. I never really smoked, but drinking is something that I'm choosing to give up at least for 6 months because trying to lose weight and drink is kind of counterproductive. And my fitness and content goals. These are all things that I have been razor sharp in terms of making sure that these are the 5 things that I am continuing to hit on a daily basis. But it's not something that is it's not something that's difficult. It used to be something that would be very difficult for me to do, to eat healthy, to post consistently, to not give energy to friends that are weighing me down. But I find it to be so easy to do so. And I was asking myself, why do I feel like, why is this year so different? Why is 2026 finally the year that it clicked? And it's not anything woo woo about 2026 that made me get up and decide, you know what, I'm just going to be different. I think that it really just came down to me deciding or finally understanding what my worth is and who I actually am. Because when I look back to who I was, the person who couldn't eat healthy, the person who would remain in toxic relationships, the person who would say that they would post a video and didn't, that person didn't truly believe that he was who he thought he was. Like that guy, truthfully, right now, looking back on that version of me is a stranger. Mainly because, bro, that version of me could not have carried out anything, respectfully. And there's no slight to that version of me, but I'm just seeing the habits, I'm seeing the mindset, I'm seeing the belief system centered around the version of me that wanted or thought he wanted those things. He didn't truly believe it. Because if he did, he would be doing the things that this current version of me is doing. It's a very tough pill to swallow because the reason I'm making this video is because I am so, it's something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand when it comes to achieving their goals, where they don't see that they are literally the ones that is stopping them from achieving anything. They are the ones that are setting the parameters. They are the ones that are setting the limitations because they, or I should say most people, don't see how they have not raised their self-worth in order to carry out the things that they want to carry out. So in turn, they're left with repeated, redundant action where they are simply doing the same things that they really don't want to do because that's just who they see themselves to be. And it sucks because I have so many people in my life. I have friends, I have family who really want to change their life. They really want to do something about either their body, their career, their relationship, but they don't see how the version of them that they currently are is just not able to manifest those things. Because in order to get the things that you truly want, you have to raise your self-worth. And I don't think too many people understand that. I didn't understand that for a long time. So how do we do this? Because I feel like that's the real reason you clicked on the video, because we all want to achieve something great. We want to do something that you can be proud of. And the only way that I can answer that question is by looking at my own life. You basically have to decide that I'm just not going to be that person that I'm just not proud of. You have to make a conscious decision so deep in your mind that I'm just not that person anymore. Like when I think back to the version of me that was in those toxic relationships, I know that I could never be in a relationship like that because I am just not that guy. I'm just simply that version of me. Like I said earlier in the video, he is a complete stranger, and it's no slight to him. But I'm just calling it for what it is. I'm just actively choosing in every moment of every day. I am the version of me that attracts happy and healthy relationships. I am the version of me that chooses to eat healthy even when he quote unquote doesn't feel like it, but rarely do I never feel like it now. I am the version of me that chooses to make a YouTube video, when he doesn't have anything scripted, anything planned, because he knows that this is what he truly desires. I am the version of me, and the list goes on and on. And the reason why I'm emphasizing the I am is because that is ultimately going to be the thing that really anchors in who you see yourself to be. Because, like I said, your self-worth will always be the ceiling in which you can accomplish anything. But in order to know where you are, you have to ask yourself, who do you identify as? The person who identifies themselves as a YouTuber, they don't find it hard to make YouTube videos. They just do it because they see themselves as a YouTuber. The person who sees themselves in a healthy body does not struggle to cook all of their meals or to eat healthy because they identify with the version of them that eats healthy. The person who is in a happy and loving relationship, who identifies that I am somebody who attracts these things, they don't find it hard or difficult to set boundaries or to cut people off who don't have their best interest, because that is where they see that's where they see themselves, but that's also where they see their self-worth. So if you are somebody who is struggling to raise your self-worth, I think the first thing that you can do is to be honest about who you see yourself to be, because that is the only way we can ever change anything about our lives. If you're not willing to be honest about where you're at, then you can never truly get to where it is that you need to be. Because in order to change your life, it has to come from honesty. You have to be honest, like, you know what? I'm somebody who struggles with eating healthy. I'm somebody who struggles with making content. I'm somebody who struggles with XYZ. And then really ask yourself why. Because when I look back on my life and I question the reason why I struggled with eating healthy, posting inconsistently, or establishing boundaries and stuff like that, a lot of it had to do with me not wanting to come to terms with the things that were truly uncomfortable. Like, it's uncomfortable to say that when I think about why it was so difficult for me to enforce boundaries, is because I had a low level of self-worth. Like, that's uncomfortable, but it's the truth. The reason why it was difficult for me to eat healthy is because, for me, eating for a long time used to be a sort of escape or reward system that I would feel so good about it. That's uncomfortable, but it's the truth. And you just kind of go down the list of the things that you essentially are masking as, oh, I'm just this person that doesn't do this thing, even though you want to be the person that does that thing. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of shadow work. And I'm not here to say that it's easy, but it is simple. Because if I can do it, there ain't nothing special about me. You 100% can do it too. But you have to want this for yourself, because I think that's also a missing piece in all of this that a lot of people fail to understand. Because you could say as much, you could say or talk until you're blue in the face about the things that you want. But the only thing that truly determines what it is that you want is your actions. And if you're not willing to hop into the identity of the version of you that has it all, that has the happy and loving relationship, that eats healthy, that makes the money, that is the YouTuber, that is the musician, whatever, then at that point, you're not really trying to change. You want to stay the same. And that's fine. Just don't complain about it. Because I see that a lot online and even in my own personal life, where a lot of people complain about the position that they're in, but the only person that they have to blame is themselves. And I'm not here to say that it's all your fault, but at a certain point, there has to be some level of accountability about the things that you're continuing to choose. Like when I think back to the version of me that didn't eat healthy, he was choosing to eat unhealthy every single time he opened his mouth. Pause. So yeah, raise your self-worth. Understand that the more that you are able to identify with the things that you see yourself, you truly desire in your heart to be, the easier it will be for you to take the actions of that person. Because if you don't identify with it, there's always going to be resistance. And the thing that I'm learning about doing things that are uncomfortable is that it shouldn't be that much resistance. There honestly shouldn't be any. If there's resistance about the things that you know that you should be doing, chances are you're not really identifying with the version of you that does the thing. I don't find it hard to eat healthy. I don't find it hard to make videos. I don't find it hard to make music. I don't find it hard to set boundaries, because these are all things that I identify with. And if you are struggling to identify with those things, then you need to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, why? Why do I find it so hard to do these things? And really be introspective, because once you can be introspective about the things that you are kind of neglecting, the faster you can start to course correct and get back on track, so that you are making the life that you truly desire inevitable. Man, y'all don't know how long I've been putting off making a long form YouTube video. And I'm really happy that I made this video, because it was effortless. And if you made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you so much. And we're going to be more consistent with these, because I want to. And I want to give you guys more content in the correct format. So, peace and love.